Hello and welcome to another set of turns of Dominion 6. I'm Fullscud. We're playing as Pyrene on turn 55 in the slowest blitz. The last turn, right, Eyes of God went up, and we had a whole discussion on where we thought that put us. I would highly recommend for anyone that hasn't, Cookies is the Nabob player and has, of course, access to all the graphs. So if you go and look at his channel and look at turn 54, you can see exactly where Nabah is placed. At time of recording, of course, this is already up. When I was playing the game, that was much less so. So I'm not gonna. Anyone who doesn't want to see it right and wants to stay with just this one, I'm certainly not going to spoil anything. But it is there if you want to see where Nabah was at. And so we finished Infernal Crusade. So it is time to start the Crusades, or I guess start preparing for them. And hopefully start preparing for them better than, you know, the poor people who went on the actual Crusades, because they did not prepare well and were bad at logistics. And then had problems. We went ahead and killed some barbs. Big fight here. Oh boy, Vanarus attacking man in Fascia. So this is storming. So first we can see that the god is here, right there. It's Kidson, the Frostfather. He's got thug gear, I guess, but also earth boots and just like a lot of reinvig gear. He's holding up a global. So he's kind of all in on this. He's already cursed. That's tough. Looks like he's got reasonable max HP. Not like a ton, but for a Frostfather, it's pretty good. I don't know where we're at in terms of temperature. It looks like it's neutral. And he's got a couple of other mages. See an Ichthyid and some Moss Body casters. So not a lot here for the defense. A handful of knights and some Jade Maidens. And on the other side, we have a giant army of Zemays. So like I mentioned last time, right, these are a Drake. So all the Drake boosting items give you one extra when you cast one of these. And we believe he has the Conjuration discount site, which is going to make these cheaper. So we can expect to see a metric fuck ton of Zemays coming out of Zan. They are cold-blooded. Now, this is part of why you didn't see them very much in Dom 5, as all the Rus nations are cold, and cold-blooded in Dom 5 was unbelievably brutal. It is much less brutal now in Dominion 6, so you can kind of use these more. But they've got, you know, 3 attacks, 45 hit points. They've got a fire attack, which is like a beam. They don't have a ton of protection or defense. They've got pretty good MR for a troop. And yeah, so they're big, they're flyers. They are disciplined. So they're neat. And we can expect quite a lot of them. He's also got a lot of miscellaneous Chudes. We can see he's got this this H3 summonable and a bunch of other you know, miscellaneous mages. We got an N3 here with a cornucopia, some storm demons. Those are quite scary. And then several squads of draconians who he's also able to use as chaff. And then some Vanabogs right up near, or I guess one Vanabog, right up near the front. And this Firelord right up near the front. I'm not sure exactly yet why they're so keen to be in archer range, but they are. Flame Ward, Anti-Magic, Frostflesh, Bloodlust, Wailing Winds. In fact, Wailing Winds has gone up on Zan's side, and Howl has gone up for man. Body Ethereal to try and break through the walls. Nightmare Masks, Army of Giants, all kinds of crap. Tons of Moss Body going out. Here come the Zemays. They haven't landed all that well, amusingly enough. Rigor Mortis has gone up by Kidson. So Kidson is trying a fatigue play, whereas Zan, in addition to obviously just trying to kill stuff, has put up Wailing Winds to see if he can't encourage some of Kidson's stuff to leave the battlefield. You can see all these Zemays have also hit the back line. Now the Knights have 15 fire resistance, and so they're going to do pretty well against these Zemays. I think even with, you know, the fire, there's got some regen going. So I don't really expect these Zamays to break through too much back here. But I guess we'll see, just because they are buffed. It looks like this stack is winning. Unfortunately, right, he's losing at the gate. So they've broken through. Somebody's just going into be a communion slave right now. So I think ultimately Kidson does not have enough stuff here. It does not appear that anyone is anywhere near fatiguing out. The wall defenders are gone. Very late power of the spheres. Doesn't mean it's like wrong, of course. Armies of man are routed. Will the god get away? I guess the god has nowhere to go. He can't get away. He's in the fort. Is he fatigued? Yeah, he's fatigued out. He needs to wake up in a hurry. It doesn't really look like he's got enough. He's lucky. Moss body. I don't think he has enough buffs to really hold out here. Like, he's not, I don't think he's gonna super combatant this. He's missing, I think, too many pieces. He is regenning, right? Yeah, he is regenning, but only 10% on 29 HP. So it's like 3. With a whopping 22 protection, so I do not expect him to be successful here. But on the other hand, you know, maybe he gets a lot of extra kills, right? These Zamays just keep torching their own guys. That might be a thing. Here comes some casters on advancing cast, though. Kind of expect them to blindness. Oof. Yeah, there goes Kidson. All right. So Vanarus attacks and kills man in this fort. He did lose one of these to F3s and a lizard shaman. And then some miscellaneous chaff, including a bunch of Zamays, but again, those are very replaceable. On the other hand, man lost his god. Now, he's going to be able to get the god back super fast. He has a bajillion monks. So a bit more of a speed bump, although he could lose paths or something. And he lost all the gear on the god, so definitely hurts. Just really not enough stuff. I don't know if he thought he was going to be able to take this or not. You know, you never know. Sometimes you test it and things go really differently. It didn't look close. He looks like he just needed a ton more stuff. If he had someone to cast, I don't think these guys have like Stormfly or anything. They do not, and neither do they. I think a turn 1 Storm would have gone a long way. I don't think it would have saved him. Especially right there are storm demons, so like the storm demons could get their shit. I mean, look at that storm demon hit, and there's a Banefire hit, which just withered all of these gate defenders. So I don't know if storm would actually have saved him, but it would have at least delayed this attack, and maybe given time for rigor mortis to work. But I don't really think it would have mattered, and I'm not gonna try and overly Monday morning quarterback that battle. We have caught a witch, which is bad. Mostly, yeah. We knocked out some heretics, and we killed a bunch of filthy brigands. So we still have our Forge of the Ancients up, so we're going to be trying to do more forging. You can see we've got a staff of elemental mastery coming up. We're going to be doing our infernal casting. So we're doing 1 more curse of blood, a dark knowledge, 4 infernal crusades, and that's going to use up most of our blood slaves. We could do 1 more if we had a caster, but I don't think we have another caster ready to do any more crusading. Because it is a tough cast. I'm trying to remember if we're getting anybody ready. Yeah, we're doing another Bloodthorn. Blood Hunt, I guess we can go back to here. So, yeah, 4 Infernal Crusades. The good news, right? So one of the reasons I really like Infernal Crusade, one of these, at least I really want to try Infernal Crusade. And it is worse. At time of recording now, it is not as good as it was. Fear has been nerfed. Or at least changed. So that fear 5 doesn't go as far as it used to. But one of the things that's really nice about Infernal Crusade as opposed to the others is the scaling. So you get 10 per, but it's 10 plus. And so, right, you're getting a 10% bonus for every extra blood path you have, as opposed to a Tempest, right, where it's 12 plus. So you're getting a slightly smaller bonus. And on Infernal Forces, it's even smaller. And on something like Forces of Darkness, right, it's way smaller, right? Getting 1 extra on a 22 isn't nearly as good as getting 1 extra on a 10. Assuming you think the base value of each of these is approximately correct. And I don't necessarily know if that's true. Again, these are worse than they used to be because they got nerfed since this game. I think doing it again, I would just probably do what everybody else does and do the Tempest. I think that they are, at least at present now, a better unit, but I really wanted to try out Infernal Crusade. And we can still, again, if push comes to shove, right, we can turn all of our Sorginas can make 1 Storm Demon. It won't be nearly as efficient, and it'll waste a ton of research. But in the event we have to do that, that is a thing we can do. Whereas, our ability to mass produce Demon Knights is much, much lower. So, in terms of foraging, we're making some more cornucopias. Especially while we have a forge discount up, I want to try and lock these, lock in all these items that we're probably going to need. Our armies are definitely going to want to be able to resistant to gem baits, and we're going to spend a ton of nature gems in fights. Right, we've got to put up army regeneration. We got to put up relief. There's all kind. We want to put up army of giants probably. There's just so many. Poison ward. Although we're actually take it back. We're not gonna do poison ward or serpent's blessing. We're gonna do the one in blood. So that one we don't need. But anyway, another bloodstone, bloodthorn to try and get more infernal guys ready. A water bracelet, elemental mastery staff, masters of Thame, ring of returning, Alaquil. So we're gonna try and keep working on sort of getting our item bank together. It does look a bit disorganized right now. But we just our problem, it feels like right now, is just that our gem income kind of sucks. And again, it's like we're like half of Zan's or something. And part of it's our fault. We can do a better job of getting more, and we are making it up obviously with a lot of blood. But we are definitely struggling a bit in the gem income department. So, except Earth, we're doing great on Earth, which is also part of, I don't think I mentioned, maybe I mentioned it in a previous video, it's been a while now, but part of why I was keen to do Forge the Ancients is that even if we don't necessarily get back our full value, we are using a gem type that we have a ton of, Earth, to support gem types we don't have a ton of. So, each Earth gem is perhaps worth marginally less to me than a lot of the other types. So using Forge the Ancients to save on other gems has value. But no other fighting. We're just headed back to the fort here. We need to... Looks like we could stand more patrol chaff. Maybe we just had an unlucky event. Getting this staff is good news. We're going to be able to hopefully start getting Raven's Feast going more consistently again, right? Having an extra person in addition to the god who can... Actually, we have to research it, so I say again, but getting Raven's Feast, or Raven Feast, is something which I want to research up to, obviously, pretty quickly here. I think that is hugely, hugely beneficial. While we do not have a ton of air gems, we have even fewer death gems. And we're going to want to be able to support our armies with death magic, right? We've got a vampire, we're making another one. So there's plenty of need for death. Additionally, we can, potentially eventually look to make things like white mages or losing my mind. Who's the guy? Wraith Lords, that's the one. Wraith Lords. Death also has some really nice stuff at the end. If we're correct in our Tartarian assumption from Ulm, if we kill Ulm, right, it'd be nice to have... We're going to need a lot of Death gems to get all the boosters to put together to do Tartarian Gate. Legion of Whites is an amazing spell as well. It's very efficient. Ghost Riders is a pretty great attack. 75 Long Dead Horsemen. You don't get the province, of course, but doing that much damage to someone, if you can cast that on a bunch of provinces, you can majorly mess up their movement, their gem income, etc. So there's a lot of great stuff we can potentially look forward to with very high death. In addition to being able to potentially start to put together like Winds of Death traps or Winds of Death, magic phase attacks. If we start empowering golems or start empowering those Wraith Lords or vampires or such. So it'd be really nice to get Raven's Feast online so we can start doing that and put the corpses to use that we're generating from all of our blood hunting. Sort of use the whole buffalo, such as it were. So yeah, I think that's this turn. We'll go ahead and jump to 56. All right, we got some of our demons. We'll look at them in a second. We found a battlefield. I think that's one. Yep, that's one death gem. That's great. 3 sites found here is amazing. 2 fire gems and a water gem. And then this Lake of Living Water, I'm fiddling with. I can't remember what it does. I think you get water elementals, but it seemed cool. I don't really know if it's the best use of his time. He maybe should be off doing more searching. But we don't really have another water mage to put in. Asphodel fights into man with a pretty unsupported group of stuff and gets killed by Kushi. We found the Lake of Living Water. We found copper deposits. So I think this is extra gold. Yeah, a little bit of extra gold. Nice. Okay. So we can see, in our first turn of production, right? I think these were already here, but we made another 20 demonic knights from our forecasts, which is really cool. That is quite fun. These guys kick ass. They have very high protection. They've got good HP. You get 2 per square. They've got fear. So regular troops are going to have a really hard time standing against them. They have good MR. They have, even have good defense. Not so much the horse, but come with some fire resistance and dark vision. Just a very, high damage, high attack. A very, very nice unit to really start to form the backbone of our armies. Usually, right, you have enough demon knights to have them be a part of your army, but we're looking to have enough demon knights for them to be the backbone of our army. So we're gonna keep working on those. Obviously, it takes a lot of blood slaves to pull all that off. We gotta be out there hunting right this turn. Right, we're doing 5 Infernal Crusades. Don't know if we have anybody who's above a blood 5 yet. Doesn't look like it. Looks like right now we're still in, yeah, the regular blood 5 version until we get potentially more items. Like this guy or this guy could both very easily add a Bloodthorn and do an extra cast. And hopefully we're forging some more of those. Nope. All right, well, we're going to eventually, and we should have. I did go ahead and I wanted to make some gate cleavers. These, as we approach these more late game areas, as we start to think about thrones and winning the game, being able to 1-turn pop forts is really important. And so I wanted to get, I think these might even be heavy. I guess we can look. Yeah, let's not mess up something. Okay. The gate cleaver. No, it's not heavy. Okay, never mind. Not heavy, but a ton of extra seed strength and that people won't necessarily see coming. Obviously, I don't think this says gem efficient of a way to add seed strength potentially, or at least not as overall efficient as doing something like Eagles, right? Who obviously also patrol and then fly in to provide siege strength and have more mobility. But it is unexpected, which is worth something. So we're going to put those in, and then, you know, we can look to add those to our armies to do, you know, like, it's very possible, right, that like if we fight Ulm, that's 3 thrones. We have 2 thrones. We would need 2 more thrones. So we'd have to fight into somebody else, but like if that person isn't man, right, this is eventually potentially a throne rush target. And we would definitely want to be able to, you know, stage here and 1 turn pop that, and ideally do it in such a way that he doesn't see it coming. So maybe we stage here or whatever, but I think that there's a good chance we'll get some use out of those. Also, just a little bit more site searching. Dragon helmet is also kind of getting prepped, right? We're going to need those for when we actually march out. Another brazen vessel and a blood pendant. Okay. And a slave's heart. Interesting. Trying to get our turn 1 spells online as well. So we're doing a pretty good job of using all our gems. Glamour is currently the one we're really missing. And I think for the most part, we're just going to end up holding it. The things we can do with it, I think realistically, are after we've kind of finished using some of these gnomes for their forging purposes. Things we'll still do with Glamour are we could make the research boosters to put on the gnomes because it's very efficient. We could make more item booster or more path boosters to bring the gnomes out. The gnome, of course, right, is a very good mage. He's got great paths. He has 6 HP. So I really don't love a 0 protection and 6 defense. So you kind of want to kit these guys up with minimum, I think, a coral blade and an armor, plus whatever else you need to actually fight to like want to bring them out. And so we'll probably also eventually plan on doing nature gems and pouring them into Fairy Court. So, and this obviously uses up gems very efficiently. It's an excellent, I think it's an excellent use of gems, where you get the commander and then all these different Fey units. But at 60 glamour gems a pop, right, we've got 100 in the bank now, but by the time we can cast it right, we might only get 2 casts out of that or something. So I'm mostly pretty happy actually with how well we're doing it at using up all of our resources every turn. But all right, looks like it's about 20 minutes, so we'll go ahead and stop here. Thanks everyone for joining me, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a great day.